When the COVID-19 pandemic hit back in 2020, hundreds of millions of lives were upended. People began making drastic changes, especially when it came to work. The ease of remote working pushed many to leave cities altogether to live in smaller towns that move at a much slower pace. But as pandemic restrictions were lifted, countless people weren't ready to go back to the old normal. One organization, which predates the pandemic, is looking to capitalize on that trend. The Cittaslow Association created special guidelines for small towns to gain the title of being a slow city. The first Turkish town to join the movement was Seferihisar on the Aegean coast, and more are in line to join. The concept of slow living revolves around a better quality of life and everything that it entails, including clean food, eco-friendly transportation, and a diverse, caring community. So, will this global slow trend live far past the pandemic? And how is Türkiye benefiting from this ever-growing movement? And to discuss the slow city movement and its growing appeal, joining me from Orvieto, Italy, is Giorgio Oliveti. He is the International Secretary General of Cittaslow, an organization that was one of the key starters of this movement. And from Izmir, Bülent Köstem is the technical coordinator of Cittaslow Türkiye. Gentlemen, welcome to Straight Talk. It's good to have you on the program. Pier, could you talk to us about how this movement was founded and evolved in the last few decades?
Yes, good morning to you all. Thanks for the occasion. But the movement born over 20 years ago in Italy from the first idea of for little towns mayors and Paolo Saturnini in Greve in Chianti, close to Florence. And the core idea was how to apply the positive slowness. Today, we open a lighthouse on Cittaslow and the positive slowness. What means? In the so fast world, we probably, as a pioneer for first, we apply to the local management of the little towns and communities the slowness. What means slowness? You know what is the wrong fastness, because the world in a few decades risk to arrive to the end of the history, to the end of the mankind, if you are not worried about.
Yes.
And the Cittaslow means, for example, more communities, but not communities, but active community in the little villages, as in the big metropolis, as Izmir. Bülent will explain our Cittaslow Metropolis project in the neighborhoods of the metropolitan areas, because the easy living, the quality of life is not only in the internal areas, in the coastal areas or in the little villages, but now, thanks to Cittaslow pattern, it is possible also to insert the seed of the positive slowness in the big cities too.
So, Bülent, the founding charter of Cittaslow is trying to encourage the high quality of local cuisines and opposing cultural standardization. How is that materializing, and what are the challenges?
Well, the most important challenge, especially in Turkey, is that we are a developing country. We are a growing country. So, and the current new age always dictates to be bigger and faster. So in Turkey also people are trying to move faster, build bigger houses, buy bigger cars, etc. So the most important challenge is to disseminate this Cittaslow philosophy, which values small things in life, to enjoy the moment and to protect its own identity, culture, history, nature. So it's kind of in different places with current philosophy of the new age.
So, Pier, Turkey has more than, if I'm not mistaken, 20 cities involved in this movement. Where does Turkey stand when it compared to other countries, especially European ones like Italy and Germany?
Yes, but in Turkey, we found in the internal areas more traditions, more still living and alive traditions, and a very good approach to the history, to the local heritage. But the fighting now in the present age is to be very aware about the risk to destroy in a few years our heritage of this, our history and our tradition too. And so for example, two examples. One is for tourism. Tourism, Cittaslow tourism is so important to rediscover, but without destroy, with the sustainability, social and also environmental sustainability. All countries, all places, for example, Safsat in the Cittaslow or Yeni Pasar, but also the more important and famous place, for example, the Sigacik village and harbor village in the Seferihisar.
Yes.
It is very famous. But one thing is to focusing in the big hotel, industrial, touristic economy only. One thing is to improve bottom up the local tradition, local stakeholders, and the local productions.
Yes.
And yes, please.
So, Bülent, the organization has also embarked upon, as Pier mentioned, spreading the Cittaslow philosophy in metropolitan areas. And how do you think it is going to play out, and which cities in Turkey seem to qualify for that?
The main idea is that the Cittaslow organization has a very solid experience. Not only in Italy, Europe, or Turkey, but in all the world. It has spread to all of the countries, nearly most of the countries in the world. So there is this great experience, this great know-how. So we are trying to use this experience and know-how of Cittaslow organization in metropolises, big cities. So we are trying to do this by inserting slowness in the neighborhoods. We call this Cittaslow neighborhoods. We are trying to make neighborhoods of the big cities little Cittaslows with the little parks, centers, green areas, where we can encourage local craftsmen, local shopkeepers, decrease traffic and increase mobility. There is only Izmir in Turkey right now qualified as Cittaslow metropolis, but we are at the beginning of this movement, this metropolis movement. So I think there will be a lot of cities from all over the world that want to be part of Cittaslow.
So, Pier, given the ongoing conflicts across the world, rising energy prices, looming food insecurity, and negative impacts of the climate change or climate crisis, is Slow City movement, which wants to expand further, a drop in the ocean?
Yes, absolutely. But, we are a slow counterculture in a very fast era. But now the people also, unfortunately, after the global crisis, for example, the climate changing and the food and pandemic too, and not only, it is very aware, more and more, million and million of people in the world understood our message, but overall, our operational and application. We are a very concrete project to face this big challenge for the world. And at the moment, we are about 300 towns in 32 countries and about 25 million of people in general. But our footprint is very, very larger and huger than that. Oh. And we propose all the values, but also projects, specific and concrete project in alliance with the new generation. We cannot leave to the new generation a destroyed planet as we are doing now today.
So, Bülent, what does it take for a person to live in a slow city? Are there any rules, any criteria to become a resident of the slow city? And does that mean abandoning our lifestyle and changing our routine?
Well, there is no requirement to be a resident, but a town needs to follow some rules, some requirements that have been established by the Cittaslow International Scientific Committee. There are 72 requirements that a city must develop projects or implement projects in accordance with. There are no strict rules, no banning. I mean, we are not trying to impose people, you do not do that, you must do this. We are trying to encourage people to live slower, to enjoy the pace of life, to shop from local shops or eat from local food, local good food, and not pollute the towns. So we are, Cittaslow movement tries to encourage little towns to act in accordance with Cittaslow philosophy.
All right, gentlemen, unfortunately, we'll have to leave it here. Thank you very much for joining me on Straight Talk.